blood. Especially growing up, starting this together, we couldn't be any closer. So that's got to be one of the first things that come to mind when I think of like what made us such a good team when we were teaming. So I would say being brothers is number one.
When it comes to being a great tag team, there are a lot of certain elements that I think two individuals need to share amongst one another. And first and foremost, it just needs to be they need to have a good relationship. Because if you're not friends, if you're not buddies, and if you don't trust each other, the tag team thing definitely isn't going to work out for you, at least not long anyway. And it's very important to have chemistry with the person that you're with. That whatever you're thinking, they can be on that same thought process as well. So that whenever you're ready to do something, they anticipate that move, so they'll do it. With myself and Jeff, it was always so easy because I knew as soon as I chose the direction to go in the ring, that Jeff would be right on the same page with me and he would be there. So that's one of the biggest things I think as far as being successful as a tag team. A lot of times you'll see two great singles wrestlers kind of gel together momentarily, but it won't last that long just because they either are both selfish on their own parts. They're not willing to compromise and be a team together. When you're a tag team, you definitely have to kind of let go that your own inner self-confidence and it can't be all about you. It has to be about the team and about both guys. So it's not just a you thing, it's a team thing. Myself and Jeff, we were very fortunate during our era just because we did have some great tag teams to play off of. Edge and Christian, those guys are as good as any other tag team in the business. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Put aside personal or professional or whatever. When you look at those guys cut and dry, they're an amazing tag team. They're amazing two performers. The Dudleys were great as a tag team, and I think that's their niche, and they'll always remain a tag team, as long as they're in the business, because that's just what they do. The Dudleys are much stronger as a unit than they are singles, where I think with myself and Jeff and Edge and Christian, we could both branch out and do single stuff. And also during that time, a lot of teams are forgotten about that really aren't mentioned as much. Like Too Cool was a really good team. They weren't taken quite as serious because they were a little more of a comedy act in that day and age. And also the APA, they held their own too. We had some really good battles with the APA, and there were a lot of good tag teams around that era. Which is what helped make us, I think, as great as we were, just because we had a lot of other great tag teams to play off of.
And it is definitely important as far as when you speak of good matches and once again having good chemistry between two teams. It's very important to be working with a team that's good, in order to have a good match. So yeah, that's very important. When it comes to wrestling moves, even as a kid and even now, I think it's always cool to have a name. And I think we've both been like that because I don't know how many times we've talked to Jim Ross and other commentators say, oh, what's the name of that move? I don't know how many times that people have confused the Twist of Fate with the Whisper in the Wind. But it's so cool to have a name to a move because as kids I was like, yeah, that was the DDT, that was this stunner, It's so cool because you label that move, and for us I think we're well known for that, because we got all kinds of names, man. We had the very popular Poetry in Motion, which was a very popular Sabu move that I kind of bit from him, and but we used it as a tag team maneuver. But yeah, it's just really cool to name moves, and I think everybody should try that.
I think too. I think when you name a move, it actually gives the move an identity, and it actually gets it over more than anything else. And when I say that, I mean it makes the move more popular, because like in this business too, in this industry, I mean to really be successful, you need to make the fans react. You need to make them feel emotionally connected to what you're doing and your performances in the ring. And even just as simple of a thing as it is to have a name on a move, I think it helps it, as long as you don't overload people's minds. The Twist of Fate, which is obviously my finishing maneuver, every time I hook for the Twist of Fate, people react, and they're going, oh my God, this could be the end of the match, so it's exciting. But I think one of the things that help that, most guys with finishing moves have a name for their moves, but I'm like, how come a finishing move is the only move that can have a name? How come every move can't have a name, and especially something that is that defines back to you and your character, that relates to you? So that's one of the things Jeff and I are very big on. Like you said, we've got the Twist of Fate, the Swanton, Whisper in the Wind.
Spin Cycle.
Yeah, it's funny.
We got a lot of names that like people probably don't even relate to because they never heard them. I have Cardiac Arrest, which is actually that big kick in the corner. That's kind of complicated to say, and people are going, what does that mean? But yeah, it's weird how most of the time just everybody has a name for their finish and not individual maneuvers. Like Matt's got the side effect, which it could very well be a finish, and that's very cool. That's what makes it stand out.
It was a finish on John Morrison, by God.
What's going on? Matt and Jeff Hardy here, and you can play with us or against us.
in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, available in November on all gaming consoles.